made you rise up and say, I'm gonna do this. I don't care what anybody thinks or says. You can go wash the dishes.
Wow.
You over Niña.
Okay. I guess I remember that really low point, like 13 years ago. I was like, I don't remember what happened, but I remember I was like crossing the street and crying and telling a friend, it's like, why am I doing this? I mean, there's really no money in music. I'm super broke. And then, but I still want to keep taking pictures. And then he said, it's like, it's an investment, and then I started looking at it as a, as a collector. So I'm collecting pictures of musicians. So and everyone said it'll pay off. And then it's like it's hard to trust, the universe, like to know where all of this is heading. But I would actually print out pictures that I took and would go to like gigs and actually just show them to musicians. There was like one incident where I was pitching an album to Lisa Nakpil, River Maya's manager, to allow them to bring me to Singapore for like River Maya's gig, which turned out to be Rico's like last few gigs with River Maya. So I was at that gig at NBC 10 or something.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah. And then it was for another radio station that's a different name now.
Right.
So Raymond Marasigan looked at the albums and he saw like a couple of pictures of him there. So it was like printed on 5R pictures. I had it printed on in some Kodak somewhere. And then he asked me how much if I buy these pictures of me. And I was like, are you sure? And I was like,
pesos.
super broke. And no, I mean, it's so embarrassing, but I already said this. I sold like 3 5R photos of him for like 500 pesos.
Each or?
Yeah, just...
I'm sorry.
For the whole, for all of
Bakit
it?
deal na?
500 for all of it?
No, because he's also a friend of mine and I didn't really like selling pictures. It's like, I feel like,
Those okay, 5 hours are big.
5 hours, not
Di ba
that
malaki
big.
yun? Or I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, you're thinking of something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of 3R, 4R, 5R,
Yeah,
like
parang-
8R
parang
ata yung
index card
isip
lang
mo.
ata.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I
Yung
mean, he
pang-model.
gave me that. So, I mean, yeah, I have like dinner money. And I was very happy. But then it kind of changed. He was like my first buyer. Like
first
Raymond
client.
Marisigan, like, was the one who actually bought my first pictures. And if he's like somebody who can buy, are interested in buying my pictures like that, I mean, what more, like down the line, the pictures that I have through the years, like their value is constantly increasing as they get older.
True, yeah.
So that's
memorable.
part of the struggle that I went through, because the pictures now are not as valuable as they would be like maybe 10, 20 years down the line. That's why people are just only starting to recognize me now after so long. Because, if you see pictures of yourself currently, there's not much value in it until you see maybe a picture of Pepe Smith that I took like
Oh, so
so
you
many
did?
years ago. Yeah.
Oh, because I know a member of the family. They were scrambling for pictures.
I mean, there are a lot of people who have taken pictures of Pepe Smith, but it's just one of them. I mean, maybe the older the picture, like I have pictures of Carl Roy, like different settings. So, because my ex used to live with him. So it's like, I have that kind of access. But then the value of the pictures during that time didn't really matter. So the struggle was just trusting that maybe someday I'm gonna maybe publish a book and then people will start buying it, and then that's how I'm gonna earn the money back.
See, that's resilience. Like what I said earlier, diba? I mean, a guy would probably quit halfway into this. I'm serious though. I'm
Really?
serious. That takes something else. That's courage. That's resilience.
Courage.
Probably
That's
Trusting
keyword
the
there.
process.
Yeah,
Trusting the
process.
alive.
Trust the process. Trust the force.
Be one with the force. And what about you, Nikki? I mean, what were your struggles growing up? Growing up in this business that you're in.
I think, like I said earlier, it was the fact that there weren't much women in the industry. And when I started, there was no one doing anything that I wanted to do. So I had no pegs. I started the blog as soon as I started teaching yoga. So I started writing. And then when I was looking at other bloggers who are in the fitness industry, none of them were doing what I wanted to do. So I had no one to look up to. I had no one to set as an example. So I had to figure out my own tone of voice, the way I would communicate what I wanted to say, the whole package. To me, fitness is also marketing. You have to be a good marketer to make it, and as a coach or in the industry in general, because most of the people today are not yet ready to spend money on fitness. They don't get it yet. They don't see the value of it. So not as many people in our country versus in the US or in Singapore or Hong Kong, they're not as willing to spend on an indoor cycling class
it's still a luxury here.
It's still a luxury.
Yeah.
So for you to make them realize that, no, this is something that you actually need. You need to take care of yourself so you can take care of other people. That's why I talk to women mostly. I don't try to attract men because I know the way to a woman's heart in terms of okay, this is how I can get you into this lifestyle. And at the time, I felt like the male coaches that I know, not Chappy, others, were laughing at what I was trying to do. Because it was so feminine.
Really?
My marketing was feminine. Me coming out with NT Sweat. When I conceptualized the whole thing in 2013 or 2013. I launched it mid 2014 or 2015. And at the time, I know that people were laughing behind my back. Because they were like, why would she start her own program? Or because it's... there's a template for everything. If you want to teach a group exercise class, you have to train under an Australian
There's always
group.
a path, and there's always a governing body who would say, this person is legitimate. This person is actually qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I decided that I took certifications, but then I felt that my students needed something more, and I could give them that if I just had the courage to put something together that I felt they actually needed. So that's how I designed my workout. It's based on what I felt my students needed. But then it took a lot of courage to put it out there because I know that
Especially in our industry.
In our industry, they'll be like, what's her certification?
There's always people trying to pull you down.
Yeah. There was a lot of bashing involved. But then when they started seeing me in magazines and being featured, they started to shut up.
Ano ka nga
That's how I gained the respect. It was hard, especially because there was no female who was doing that, and then just to actually wear a sports bra to the gym, you'd instantly get judged.
Yeah.
Right? You come into the gym wearing a sports bra. Ay,
I didn't wear a sports bra. If you guys want to know. I just want to make that clear.
And I'm
I didn't agree because...
Yeah.
You said yeah.
Kala ko nakarelate ka.
Yeah. Nakarelate siya.
Hindi!
Brian, please clear that up.
Man-Made Fridays.